Okay, this is the reading for Libra for the fall of 2016. Okay, your first card, number 44, surrender to the flow. You may be in a situation where you are finally giving up, you know, in a good way though, giving into things that you maybe have been pushing up against that have been going in the wrong direction. You've been kind of swimming upstream and now you're just saying, I'm done, I'm tired, I can't, I'm going to let go. So that's a good card to have. I mean, it's crossed with washing away your burdens. So it's almost like within that giving up of all of this effort and, you know, these burdens have become a bit of a challenge for you to overcome. You may be seeing them and you may be giving up on it, but not working through it in a sense. So when you wash away your burdens and that being a challenge, these are things that you work through and you truly let them go. They wash away, meaning you're dealing with them. And I get the sense that these Libras are kind of being blocked from that. Either there's a bit of an obstinance there where they're not, usually they can see things clearly. Maybe they're thinking they don't have the tools to deal with. Maybe they haven't dealt with anything close to that or on that path of just starting to wash away burdens, you know. So they're just not getting the hang of it. I'll continue on here. What's flooding the reading is embrace spirit. So there might be an essence of a little bit of a change of thought process here. I get an idea that within your mind, because this usually symbolizes what's going on in the mind, embracing spirit. So either you're getting a lot of intuitive hints and a lot of things coming at you that you've maybe, and I do get these Libras have been bucking it all along. And they know that they're doing it, they're conscious that they're doing it, and they're saying, I'm doing it, and I don't care. So, yeah, I'm getting that buck there. So, but it's still going on in the mind, so it might be a struggle here, but I'm going to continue on. Energy that's passing away is observing in silence. So, I feel like maybe a time has passed where you can stay silent anymore. So from here on in, you know, people are going to hear what's going on with me, and I'm not going to hold it in anymore. You know, whatever conflicts you've been seeing going on around you have been somewhat tight-lipped about. Suddenly now you're going to go, okay, that's enough. I've had it. You're going to hear my speech, and I don't care. You're going to sit there and you're going to listen. That kind of a thing. I mean, I don't know if it's that bad. But it's like I'm going to speak out, I'm going to talk, and I'm going to say something, and you're going to hear it. And it's going to make sense to you, that kind of thing. So no longer are these Libras sitting in silence. They're just coming forward now, and they're going to be heard, mostly. So in their near future, seek your answers within. So it's interesting that we have embraced spirit and seeking answers from within. But I'm getting it. A feeling of a disconnect there, whether it's they don't trust their intuition and they're not willing to follow it. That could be what's going on here. It's coming in like mad. It's coming in for these people, but they're just not really willing to. Yeah, it may have wronged them, and I'd say that intuition never wrongs you. It's the misunderstanding between the ego and stuff like that gets you, you know, into trouble. But needing to kind of go inward. So it's interesting because you've got them, you know, observing in silence is passing. So there's a sense of these Libras coming out and saying their piece and speaking what they need to say. Not sure if it's even from intuition at all. It might just be they're going to speak it and people are going to hear it. And then, you know, in the future it'll bring them to a point where they're going to observe in silence. So it may be like, you know, they just dump everything out and then they're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have been, you know, maybe because they didn't embrace that intuition that they had. they just went in a different direction. But I'll continue on. In the distant future, we have see the truth, being able to suss out the truth. And I get a sense for these Libras, it's more within their own mind. What is the truth here? What's my intuition? What's my ego? What's my, you know, what is going on there? So maybe it's just the inability to do that and the need to look there. Because I feel like you're going to go inside. That is a given. But you're more than that, more than going inside and realizing, you're really going to find out the truth, where these things are coming from and where they're rooted in, and that's really what you need to see to make the decision. So as we carry on, if there's need and necessity, having your roots covered, you know, your house, your foundation, you're paying the bills, that kind of thing, those things that you need and you have to have in your life, food, water, blah, blah, blah. So I'm getting a little bit of these Libras are kind of getting weighed down in that process, but not to the point that it's troublesome, but they've let it get to a point, and maybe this is from not being able to speak, you know, their mind, and kind of sitting back a little bit from everybody, and yeah, there's a little bit of annoyance there. So as we carry on, it's know your fears. So there are some fears hidden there that you need to reveal. It's right across from seeing the truth. So that in itself, an interior, all of that stuff is a lot of inside jobs here that you really need to figure out mentally where it is that your fears are. I mean, ultimately, that's where we come from, this mental capacity. But yeah, I'm going to continue. Next is change is unavoidable. So there it is right there. Fear of change, I think, is really what's going on here. I feel like there might be a situation where the baseline for your life, your job, your work, your foundation is amongst change. And maybe you're seeing it coming, you're aware of it coming, and you're kind of going, maybe denying it. I don't know. You could be denying it. You could also be going, well, we'll just see what happens. And it's basically giving you a warning here. It's unavoidable. There's going to be a change and it's coming. And then the end result is seek your destiny. So if this is a life-changing situation for these Libras, this is the time to go in the direction where you want to go, not where your hands behind your back and you're like, okay, yeah, I'll go. You know, you want to be welcomed. You want to go in a direction where you feel liberated to go. You know, every day is a choice to go, not a force. You know, so seeking your destiny. So I feel like there might be a situation, it could be in relationships, could be in work, could be in any direction whatsoever, where the fear is to leave this established situation, whether it's relationship or work. It's been established, it's there. And I'm getting the sense that there's a bit of taking yourself out of the mix. Not like you're arguing or actively doing anything, but just taking yourself out of the mix. It's almost like a boredom, a ho-hum, like, I don't care, I don't care. And that is the worst phrase when you're trying to find your path, is I don't care, because you're just not going to get it. So I feel like they're going to be given an opportunity here through the fall to change something drastically. It's unavoidable, you know, and it is part of what you fear. You see it coming, but you're still not, you're going, maybe it won't happen, or denying it, maybe, not wanting to see it, not wanting to go there, but it's coming, and you are aware of it interiorly. You just won't speak of it, and you figure if you don't speak of it, then it won't happen. It's happening. So just be aware that this is an opportunity to really, because it could, I mean, if you take it in the wrong sense, and that's part of seeing the truth of the situation, if you take it in the wrong sense, it could destroy you. But if you look at it as an opportunity to change to something that you like to do and you enjoy doing, then you can really make it work in your favor. And I mean, ultimately it is in your favor, because it's had its day. it's at its day, and things like that don't happen. That's kind of like the Tower card coming. It doesn't happen without provocation. There's always something there, a reason why it's got to change, why that change is there. And even though you fear it, it is for your betterment and your better good. So that's interesting. Giving you an opportunity, and I'm getting the sense here it's not all along. You've kind of put your dreams aside, put your wants aside for the duty of this job, relationship, family, whatever. You've put yourself aside for this. So now this is payback. Okay, you've put in your time, you got your token. Now they're saying now you get to get what you want. You get what you want, and now you can move forward. You paid your dues. Let's go. That's really what it is. Is fate is gone. It's your turn. So this is good. It's good. Libras, and they balance. I mean, they're really fair-minded in their. Here I'm getting a sense though they've been pulling themselves out of the mix. They've been fighting for so long that they're just sick and tired of saying this ain't right, that ain't right, that ain't right. They're sick of it. So they just don't say anything, and they just close their eyes, and they're doing a lot of that. And so now, and then it's going to turn into the introspection, and then it's going to be seeing the truth, and then you're going to be going into the fears, and then after you get to your fear, guess what? Things are going to change, and part of that is that in itself, that change. Don't take that away from me, but yet you dread going every day. So what's the deal? You dread going into the relationship, so you might as well get rid of it, and you dread going into the job, so you might as well get rid of that. But you just don't see the options. But the universe will make that clear once they get in there and change and clean that slate off, and then you can go for what you want. And that's the thing. It's really the universe trying to say, it's time. You're overdue. You need to get some pep in your life. You need to get things moving. You need to get in a direction that makes you happy. So Libra, go in and make sure you grab that when it comes to you, because it really, you don't want it to destroy you. You don't want it to take over and be the end of things for you. You want it to replenish, refresh. And that's just your attitude. That's all it is, just your attitude and how you deal with it. So as a clarification card, I got the cat, the domesticated cat. It's time to strike out on your own and relinquish your over-dependency on others. So a little bit of the codependency thing. Yeah, I had this for another sign. A little bit of dependence on others. And you need to give yourself credit where credit's due. You have enough strength and reserve and knowledge within you to really, and that's connected to the fear, is maybe being alone. You don't want to be alone in your decision, and that may be it. You've made a decision, but you're alone in it. Nobody's agreeing with it. Nobody's saying, yeah, that's a good idea. It's like, no, you shouldn't do that. And sometimes you need to take risks too. Sometimes I think whenever it pays off, it's got to be risky, And I think if it were easy to take, risks are not easy, and usually they pay off really well. But it's got to be a smart risk. It's got to be a mindful risk, an invested risk. So I feel like if you set your mind to it, you absolutely could. I think you've just given up. You've been in a phase where you've given up on things to a certain extent, and that's not good. So hopefully that air about you passes, where that introspection gives you a little bit of pep and movement forward, enough to carry you into that strength that you can do on your own, that you can carry on your own. Because you don't have to have the soldiers behind you to know that you're doing the right thing. You just don't. Because sometimes you just know it with every fiber of your being. You're just scared to take that step. And that may be where this Libra's headed. So anyway, good, interesting vibe here with these Libras. Kind of had enough. They're at a little bit of a precipice of turning point. So hopefully that turning point, they go with that curve instead of, bucking against it and let it kind kind of get under their skin. So hopefully that guides somebody into a better acceptance of a bad situation, or a situation that can be bad, but they can make it better. So that is the fall reading for the Libras for fall. I said fall already. 2016. Thank you. Take care and be kind.